What is going on, everybody? All right, it is your friendly neighborhood storyteller Daft coming right back at you with another story time. I hope you guys are having a glorious Monday, even though I know you guys probably aren't. Mondays kind of suck. I had a pretty interesting Monday today. I was in my philosophy class, and this kid just like fully started wall twerking, like pants down and everything. I'm just kidding. That didn't actually happen. My Monday was pretty boring. Um, but yeah, let's get right into the story. Okay. Now, today's story all takes place when I was 16 years old. Okay. When I was 16, my life was pretty average, I guess. Like, I had a pretty boring life at that time. Not that my life is really any more interesting now, but I would just wake up, go to school, go to work because I had a job back then. Sorry, a J word. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. Um, but yeah, that was sort of my life, right? I'd come home, I'd eat dinner, go to sleep, do the whole thing over again. But yeah, so this all takes place when I was 16, sophomore year of high school, okay? Um, and I remember one day throughout this glorious, it was 2022, throughout this glorious 2022 spring, I went to my friend's house. Now, my friend, we'll call her Ava just for the sake of her privacy. Me and my mom went to her house. Now, my mom and her mom were the best of friends, okay? They were always hanging out, talking on the phone. We'd always be at their house, they'd always be at my house. Sorry, my phone just went off. Let me silence that. But yeah, we were always hanging out together. And I remember one day we were at their house. We were all sitting like at the front porch on their steps, and we started talking about weed, right? We were talking about what it was like to smoke weed. I was telling them stuff about my experiences. Ava was telling them stuff about her experiences. But yeah, we were talking about what it was like. And then my mom was like, like, yeah, my friend, like, she smokes a lot of weed and stuff. And she actually gave me some of these. And I remember she opened her bag and she pulled out like a little baggie, and they were edibles. Now I'm like, whoa, holy shit. Like, those are edibles. And she's like, yeah, like, I don't really do that stuff, Like, I used to a whole lot, but I haven't in a while. I don't really know what to do with these. And I was like, Mom, like, what do you mean you don't know what to do? Like, Mom, you gotta, like, we gotta take those. Like, right now, right here, like, let's take those, get high as fuck, and order Domino's pizza. That's not exactly what I said, but in a nutshell, I was like, let's take those right now and just like order some pizza, right? And she was like, no, no, I don't want to do it now. Like, that's not right. Giving my underage child weed, like, that's not okay. And you, Ava, and she turns to Ava, she's like, I don't want to give you this stuff either, because then I'm responsible for if anything wrong happens with you, and I'll get in trouble with your mom. And we were like, all right, sure, like, sound like that's fair enough, I guess. We were bummed out, right? So the rest of that day goes on. Me and my mom end up going home, and I try one more time. I was like, all right, Mom, like, seriously, like, it's just me, right? Like, come on, let's do it. And she was like, Sam, I'm not going to say this again. No, that's my final answer. Like, we're not doing this. I could lose my job. I can get in so much trouble. I could be arrested if something goes wrong. They'll find out that I gave you weed. That's like not okay. It's not happening. So I was like, all right, fine, right? Like, fair enough, right? I go up to my room. I'm bummed out. I'm kind of cranky because my stoner ass at the time really wanted to do edibles with my mom because I thought that would be funny as fuck, right? But it didn't happen, okay? Few weeks go by and I kind of forget about the whole thing. I remember I was home alone. It was a Saturday and I went into my mom's room because I had to find a charger because my phone charger broke. And I go into her drawer and what do I find? The little baggie full of edibles. And I think, you know what? It's been a few weeks. Let me try one more time. Like, if this doesn't try, then I'll completely drop it, right? So that night when my mom gets home, we're talking about what we're gonna do for dinner. I remember we ordered pizza, and so while the pizza was getting here, I was like, "Mom, like, honestly, I think now would be a perfect time to do the edibles. Like it'd be really cool to do it and have the pizza and just like watch a movie." And then she paused. She looked at me and she was like, "You know what? Fine. Like, go get them. Like, we'll do one. Like, we'll split one. I don't want you doing a whole one because that'll be too much." I was like, "Yes. Like, thank you, thank you." So I go upstairs to get them. I come back down, right? And before we take them, she goes, "Look at me." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" She's like, "Do not tell anybody that we did this because if anybody finds out that I gave you weed, it'll be the end of me, okay?" She didn't say it'd be the end of her, but she pretty much said, like, I will get into so much trouble. Both of us, we split in half, right? I take one half, she takes the other, and it tasted like shit. I don't know if you guys have ever taken edibles. They don't taste good, right? They taste like just kind of shitty weed with a little bit of candy in the background. And 30 minutes go by. All right, that's when I sort of start to feel it. I was a really big lightweight at the time. I start to kind of giggle a little bit. My face feels hot. My head feels kind of funny, right? My body gets tingly. And I'm like, hey, I think it's kicking in. She's like, yeah, me too. Then maybe 10 more minutes go by. The pizza gets here. And I'm like, thank fuck, because I am starving. I have the munchies now, right? It's definitely a little bit stronger. I'm laughing at more stuff. So we get the pizza. We sit down in the living room. We put on a movie, right? We're watching Dazed and Confused. It's like a high school movie that takes place in the 70s. It's a really good movie. It's funny. You guys should watch it. So we're sitting there watching the movie. We're eating, right? And we're like laughing at like the jokes. You know, it's definitely getting stronger. She's getting more giggly, and I'm giggly as can be. I feel like that meme where that dog with like the propeller hat and a lollipop. But yeah, the movie ends. The high is really kicking me in the face. We finish the pizza, and I go up to my room, right? And I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna FaceTime my friend, and we're gonna play some Xbox, right? Because I was like when you guys take edibles, it's such a different feeling than when you smoke weed. Like you definitely feel like you can feel much more energized and just relaxed and happy overall. So I FaceTime Ava, and I'm like, yo, and she's like, what's up? Like, what's wrong with you? Because she could immediately notice that something was up. And I was like, I'm high as fuck. And she's like, you got weed? Like, you got bud? You didn't tell me? And I was like, no, I took those edibles with my mom. And I started laughing. And she started laughing. She's like, oh my God, like, that is insane. And I'm like, hop on Fortnite. Like, we're playing. All right. And she's like, yeah, all right, like 5 minutes, and I'll be on, right? I'm like, all right. So we hang up. 5 minutes goes by. She texts me. She's like, all right, I'm on. Like, get on. We get on, and I start playing Fortnite. I remember looking at like the screen and the colors; they were much more vibrant and like bright. I was definitely laughing at that. We were doing like the emotes in the game. I was cackling at, and overall, it was a great rest of the night. Right? I remember going to sleep at like 4 a.m. and having the best sleep of my life because it sort of started to make me feel a little bit sleepy. I remember I woke up and I went downstairs and I saw my mom, and we were talking about it, and she was like, we're not doing that again. That was a one-time thing. And I was like, all right, you know what, fair enough. Like we did it once, it was fun, that's it. I don't do edibles anymore because I've had some bad experiences with them, and I'll definitely tell you guys some like a story about that later on down the line. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. All right, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.